I am not a financial advisor, and I never give financial advice on this channel. 100% of this content is for entertainment purposes only. Hello everybody, I hope you're all doing well. It's Lane here with MetaShackle. Today I'm going to be going over the XRP Breakout Chart to show you how it's updated and evolved up to the current point that we're now seeing. If you haven't seen my videos previously, what the XRP Breakout Chart is a chart pattern that I discovered late last year, around October. At first, I didn't understand what I was looking at, but that came later, after I recognized a reoccurring pattern within the chart that had occurred 4 times previously. And at the time, which was right around November and into December, looked like it was very possible that this same pattern could repeat for a 5th consecutive time. This chart pattern is exclusive to XRP, and although I have looked through many charts to see if this pattern played through on any other chart, I have never been able to find any charts that exhibit this same pattern, with XLM included. So this chart pattern is specific to XRP only. And the chart pattern became complete by forming the fair value gap in December. And according to this pattern that has played out 4 times previously, and we are now seeing again for the 5th time, the first 3 candles form a fair value gap. We then have 5 additional candles for 8 candles total, breaking out on the 8th candle. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get into the chart and I'll explain this further. So what you're looking at here is called the XRP Breakout Chart. This chart is based on the XRP monthly chart. As you can see here in the white with the 8s above them, these are the times that this pattern has unfolded previously. It happened right here, breaking out in November of 2014. A second time right here, breaking out in March 2017. For a third time, breaking out here in November 2017. A 4th time breaking out here in January 2021. And we are now seeing the exact same pattern unfold currently, although it is slightly different than 3 of the 4 previous iterations. The red arrows here on the chart represent times when the price broke through the upper trend line. Happened here in December 2013, right here in December 2014. Right here with this breakout candle in March of 2017. Moving up to the higher pattern, it occurred right here in January 2018. Again in April 2021 right here. And we again have seen the same thing happen on this 5th iteration in November 2024 with this breakout candle. The green arrows at the bottom of the pattern represent times where there was a draw on liquidity going through the lower trend line. It happened once here in July 2014 with this candle here. It occurred again in January 2017 with this red candle you see here. It did not happen in the 2017 cycle. It happened again here in March 2020 right here. And most recently occurred again in July 2024 right here, previous to the 5th iteration of this pattern, which we are now seeing. Now, this pattern starts with the first 3 candles forming a fair value gap, which you can see represented by this white line, followed by 5 candles breaking out on the 8th candle. This has happened previous to every single major breakout in XRP's history since it started trading back here in August of 2013. It occurred here, forming a fair value gap, 5 subsequent candles, breaking out on the 8th candle, breaking out of the pattern, moving into this, the 3rd iteration, which most closely resembles the current iteration that we are seeing right now. And there are some differences between the 2017 and the current iteration of this pattern. So I will come back to this. It also happened right here in the 2021 cycle, forming a fair value gap, 5 subsequent candles breaking out on the 8th candle before running up. Now the main difference that we've seen in the 2017 cycle is the price broke out of the pattern, moved up here, set what at the time was the all-time high, broke up into this pattern, forming another pattern, with the first candle being here, second here, third here, forming this fair value gap. Then there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 subsequent candles, which is where we saw the reversal, with the exception of the fact that this candle did not break out of the wedge pattern. It wasn't until the 9th candle that we see right here that price broke out of that formation, going on to set the all-time high that held until the Trump pump in November, recently being broken right here. This breakout occurred within a 2-month period. Now the cycle that we're seeing right here resembles the cycle that we are currently seeing, and it is unfolding nearly identical with a few exceptions. First candle here, second, third, forming the fair value gap, followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles for the 8 candle pattern. We are now on the 9th monthly candle, as you can see right here. Going back on this pattern, it was the 9th monthly candle that broke out. Now, having made this prediction 6 months ago, last December, after the 3rd candle had formed, which gave us this fair value gap right here, I then knew that this pattern was likely to repeat. Now that time has passed, we now know that this cycle more closely represents the 2017 cycle over any of the other cycles. And it's hard to deny that they are not very similar. And at the time when I first started talking about the XRP breakout chart and its potential, none of these candles had even formed on the chart because it was going back to right around here before the Trump pump in November. So having the 2017 cycle form the 8 candle pattern breaking out on the 9th candle, right now we are seeing the exact same pattern. This candle right here, which is the 9th, represents the month we are currently in, being the month of June. Now I know that a lot of people have theorized that we are actually in this part of the pattern, and even though these two represent each other, I still believe that when you look at it from a price perspective, that we are actually right here in terms of price comparison. As at the current time, price is still below the all-time high that was set right here, breaking the previous high. Looking back on the previous pattern, the all-time high was right here, was broke by this candle, to which price then fell back down below before breaking through. So I think in terms of a price comparison, the vast majority of the upside potential of this move remains above us because most people are seeing it from this perspective going to here, when in actuality, the price measurement will likely have moving forward is from a comparison of being at this price point here, even though we are replicating this flag nearly perfectly. But we have yet to break out of it as of this moment, even though today we had some incredible price action. So as you can see, this pattern that has occurred 4 times previously, once here, twice here, 3rd time here, 4th time here, and we are now in the 5th iteration. The 5th iteration more closely resembling the 3rd iteration of the 2017 cycle. There's only one thing missing from this chart at this point, and that is this breakout candle right here, which as you can see has still not formed on the chart. Now, if we do not see the breakout in the month of June, which means that we have about 3 weeks left, then that means that this pattern has been broken. Now, by all means, this pattern right here should have a 9 instead of an 8, as the breakout candle did not break out until the 9th. But looking at the price action here, you can see that it came down to the bottom, then recovered, moving up, failing off of this top trend line, coming back down, then breaking out. So I've always considered that this 8th candle was actually the breakout candle. And if you look at this chart here, the 8th candle in this iteration more closely resembles the 7th candle in this iteration. But I think it's very likely, and as I've been saying for quite some time, that the XRP breakout chart predicts the breakout beginning in the month of May, moving into June, July, and possibly August. And when you take a look at the current XRP chart, the low was actually set here in April on April 7th, building this base that we have here, with this initial move to the upside right here in May. Price is then consolidated to where we are right now. So I've always believed that we would begin to see the base of the formation in the month of May, which we have seen. The only part that we have yet to see is the breakout happening in the month of June. And looking at things from today's price action on the daily chart, that leaves us 21 days to go. And if the breakout does not occur within that time, then the XRP breakout chart pattern will be broken. But if it does break out, then that means I was able to successfully predict the breakout 6 months in advance by simply using this chart pattern, of which I am the only person who was aware of it other than the people who have followed my channel, because many people have seen copies of this chart, many people have requested copies of this chart. And I've also been very busy, so I haven't had the time to update it, which I should have done already. So at this point, the chart pattern remains in play, and as long as the breakout occurs in the month of June, it will still play true. That doesn't mean that we're going to moon in June, it just means that we are going to see a big breakout in June, moving into July and possibly August. This breakout could last likely around a month and a half to 2.5 months. It's not just going to be a straight line, even though there are going to be some spectacular moments. Even looking at the Trump pump that we saw in November, it didn't just go up in a straight line. There was consolidation points, consolidation, moving up. We didn't actually come up and set the all-time high right here for about 73 days after the breakout had begun. So I'm expecting something very similar to this, which would likely lead into 2, maybe 3 areas where price will consolidate along the way before we hit the high. And if you would like to go back and see one of the first videos, if not the first video I did after this pattern had formed, you can go back and watch it. It's titled This XRP Chart Pattern That Nobody Knows About Yet, which was published on January 1st, 2025. For additional information and exclusive perks, do consider joining me on Patreon. So thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate each and every single one of you. Please do me a favor and hit the like button. It doesn't cost you anything, and it definitely helps the channel break through the YouTube algorithm, and I would really appreciate it. So thank you so much, good luck, and have a great day.